Hey, welcome into the channel, everybody. I appreciate you stopping by. And if you're not liking and subscribing, feel free to do that. We appreciate likes, shares, subscribes, comments. It helps with the algorithm and helps keeps these videos moving. Without further ado, we will get into how to list with Nifty AI, and how to use Nifty AI, and what Nifty AI means to you, and how that can help your reselling business. So, if you're new here, my name is Bob. I'm the Rocket City Reseller. I am a part-time reseller. My wife does full-time reselling, and we've grown a pretty successful business over the past 3 years. And let's show you what is the secret sauce behind our success. So let's get into it. All right, so what you're seeing on your screen is Nifty.ai. It's a cross-listing platform. If you're using Vendu or List Perfectly or things of that nature, it's pretty similar to that. It uses generative AI to help with listings. For example, you'll see some of our listings here. Just getting some last-minute Christmas stuff up. It's December 12th of 2025. If you're watching this past Christmas, just bear that in mind. It's a busy time of the year for toy resellers in general. We are niched down just to toys themselves. So we sell a lot of plush. My wife sells little people and also adorables, things like that on Whatnot. So we do Whatnot, and we also static list. So that's just a brief history of what we've done. So Nifty AI is a little bit of a fun challenge. They'll walk you through how to set it up. We just want to talk about some of the settings in here. When you first connect to your platform, if you notice when I first logged in, we had this account connections field. Basically, we have a few different options here to sign into our connected platforms. Right now, we're selling on Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, Depop, and Etsy. And we have a connection. They also have a Chrome extension plugin, so you don't have to remember your passwords. Just quick note with that, they do expire after I think 30 or 60 days. I'm not sure. I think it's 30 days, so you have to renew these, and they'll send you an email when that event happens, and you just have to go back in here and re-log into your account, and that's for security reasons why they do that. Side note, I'm also a degreed software engineer. So that's what I do full time. I'm a data scientist, so I do that. It helps with reselling, and also it helps understand technology like this. Hopefully, I can make the bridge between the technical and non-technical for you today, and try to give you a little bit insight. I'm going to do a series of these, so you can go back and look at some of this stuff. So that's how you would basically set up your account, and I'm going to. Transparency is a big part of reselling for me. Some people don't want to show you what they're paying and things of that nature, but I kind of, it's not that I don't care about that, because, I mean, some things should be shared, some things shouldn't be. But we do pay for the Bundled Pro, and we'll get into the numbers if there's time later. But $89 a month, I know that's a lot to be able to do sharing to followers, parties, following active sellers. It does that through Poshmark, and increased our Poshmark closet sales by, I want to say, 300 to 400%. So think about that for a second. It relists unsold items. It sends offers to likers. It manages your inventory, adds cross-listing and editing of items. You can create drafts and schedule posts. So having a draft bank, I can't say enough about that. If you're not doing that, you should really think about it. It will help you on the days that you can't create listings. You just go in your draft and pop a few listings up to keep the algorithm happy. You got to feed the beast, right? It has sale detection and auto delisting. I cannot say enough about this. I used Vendu for about a year and a half, and during the time frame that I no hate towards Vendu, but during the time that we were using it, it suffered and could not do it well. And it's been my experience that Nifty AI for us has seen a dramatic decrease in sales being sold on different platforms because they weren't delisted correctly by vendor. So I saw a dramatic impact to our business because of that. We are actually top rated now on eBay because of that. So all those sales that we couldn't fulfill, it's a thing of the past. Now when it happens, it's usually human error on our inventory control system, because at the end of the day, you have to be responsible for where you put your items and remember where they are, and also make sure that you put good information in the database so that way you can have good information coming out. So garbage in, garbage out will always be a human factor. You can also visualize your sales and expenses in here, and we can run through what all these items look like as well. So we'll start with your inventory management system. Whenever you add an item into your inventory control system, and we'll go ahead and do that real quick so that you can see. If you notice here in the upper right hand corner, there's an add item button. We'll go ahead and click that right here where it says browse files. We'll go ahead and look at that. We'll go to our folder, new folder, and we already listed this guy, so we'll go ahead and get rid of that. But let's look at some Christmas stuff, because we'll go ahead and get rid of this because I already listed it. All right, we got these pudgy penguins by Aurora, and we'll go ahead and use those as our test case. So what I did there is whenever you have your files and folders saved for your pictures, you just want to have a centralized location that you can go to. I just did a shift and I clicked on each individual one and then imported them in. They open and they popped them in. So there's a little pencil here. I'm not sure if you can see it on screen. Basically what that does is gives you the ability to edit, and you can scroll in with your mouse wheel. And if you take your pictures in square mode, you may not have to do that, but right now that's not something that we're doing. We use an iPhone to an iCloud and then take those iCloud photos and put them on a thumb drive and transfer it. Sounds convoluted, but it works for us. There's probably a ton of better ways to do that. And we're going to just go ahead and go through all these to make sure our photos are lined up, that we have the best quality photo and image that we can present to our customer, because that's important. And if you're not measuring your items, can't say that enough, whether you're selling coins or whether you're selling tanks, whatever the case may be, you're going to definitely want to put some sort of like visual representation of the size to stop with questions. Are they still going to ask you questions? Yes, because this is usually the last photo in our listing, and they don't normally scroll all the way to the end. So the first 2 or 3 photos are the most important photos in your listing, just from experience. Again, data scientist, right? So just remember that. So we're going to go ahead and do our next step in the process now that we have our photos. You can also include a video. It allows for one video in eBay, so you can go ahead and do that. Currently, we do not have a video for this. It's a static plush. There's no animatronics or anything of that nature that would benefit from the video. So there's a button here that says generate listing, and that uses generative AI to basically come up with it has a large language model is what it's called behind the scenes that will go ahead and customize your search engine optimization. And not to nerd out on you guys, but why that's important is that's how Google search engines like Edge, etc., can scrape the internet and to find your listing. So you want to make sure your keywords and your title are important. So we're going to use generative AI and see how good it does. So there's a few different options when we click that button, whether you know the category or not. Normally what I do is I do kids and then I do generate. So quick note, you do get 500 credits with the Pro plan. It's $5 after you use those 500 credits. For us, we never get through that many in a month. We're just too busy. But it uses those credits, and we'll look at that in the Pro plan bundle. in a few minutes, but we're going to go ahead and click that. So what this is doing, it's uploading your images, it's analyzing them with their data model, and then it's populating. See how quick that was? So just a matter of seconds, it has an answer. Let's see how good the answer is, because you have to be kind of careful. You can get caught up in the details and not have an accurate listing, so you want to double check. We have an Aurora Christmas Penguin plush toy snowman Santa set. Okay, is it the best representation of what these items are? I don't know. Let's go ahead and check. So we're going to go over here to another tab, and we're going to do we're going to do a search, a Google image search of that item, and see what it pops up. See if we can find a similar item on eBay, and see what it's a pom pom penguin. So there's already a difference, right? Let's see if we can find an eBay listing. So Aurora Penguin plush Christmas. So maybe it wasn't very far off after all. I think we're satisfied. Let's see if we can find some sold comps on this guy. So what you want to do is find an eBay listing. This one is sold for $964, but we're going to double check and see if we can find. So what you do is highlight and copy. Go up here to your search bar, hit search, and then maybe advanced. Okay, so advanced puts your search criteria here. You go to sold items, click that, and you can do use, etc. But we're just going to keep it sold for now. Search. All right, so there's a few different results. December 11th, which was yesterday, one sold for $9.64. We have two, remember. So we're gonna bump it up a bit. So 9 to looks like 12 or 13 potentially. And this one's new at tag, so that's why they got a little bit more for it. But we also see that, you know, historically they've sold for about 12, even if they are used. So what we're going to do is, and I know because I sell plush a lot, that these will actually sell for a bit more than that. This is something that someone just took an offer on, and just to get rid of it, to get it going. So we'll go ahead and keep that in mind when we're listing this. We're going to go back here. And I think this is a good representation of what these items are. There's a snowman and a Santa, and it's a set, right? So let's look at the description of what generative AI thought was best here. Adorable holiday duo brings us festive, blah, blah, blah. So basically, there's a few different options that generative AI, and you can customize this in the settings. So we'll get there in just a second. But what we really want to be careful of is the measurements, because an item not as described could be a real problem. So we're going to look at the ruler, and we're going to see that's 7 inches is approximate. So we're going to go ahead and close that, and we're going to make sure that's right. Yep. We don't care so much about the year and the where it was made so much, but we're going to just make sure our keywords are good. So what generative AI will do is put keywords in there as well that will help with the algorithm finding your items, etc. Most buyers don't really look at descriptions. They're mostly about the title and the photos. So having good keywords and good photos are really important with cross-listing and reselling in general. It's automatically saying that's excellent. It's pretty good about determining whether an item is good or excellent or new by what the listing here will say, and also by the photo condition. I think it also can tell if it's a missing a tag or not. So in our case, we're going to leave it as excellent. And we discussed what, about $12 per. So what we're going to do is we're running a 20% sale right now. So I'm going to bump this up a bit. So instead of 24, we're going to do 29. And what that's going to do, actually, we're going to do 30. We'll do 30. I usually do 99 to entice the buyer. Oh, it's not quite 30. So they're already thinking about, and that's called, I want to say that's called a magic number, but we'll get that and post it. Maybe I'm wrong. There's a behavioral science behind why that works. So our cost of goods, we buy these items by weight, and they're probably about eight ounces. I know that from just experience, but if you want to, when you're taking your photos, if you want to take a photo of the scale of with your item on it to be as accurate as you can to help with cost. Like I said, I've been doing this long enough to know that One of them is probably 8 ounces. So we're going to go ahead and put this at £1 in our cost of goods. We'll put at $3 because it's $1.89 a pound. And we're going to kind of, because I don't know for sure about the weight, I don't want to cost it out too high. But we'll go ahead and do that. And then this is where we kind of see the generative AI winning. It tells you what the colors are automatically. It starts putting style tags in for you. Some of these are okay, and it's an optional field, right? So you can kind of fiddle with this if you want to, but we're going to leave it. I never really touched that too much, but we're mostly concerned about the weight. And I have some preset weights that I put in, and we can go into settings later to look at that stuff. But I'm going to say we discussed it as being £1. You can put private notes for yourself if you want. We use bin locations. So what will eventually happen is when we go to locate this item, after we've listed it, because it's a step process, we clean it, photograph it, list it, and then store it in a bin location. So we'll go ahead and put that in later, but we'll just double check our listings, Poshmark, everything looks good. All the fields are populated. One of the things that Poshmark often looks at is the size. So we got to make sure that it's set to one size fits all. Normally it puts it in the right category too. So kids, toys, stuffed animals, price is already in there. Again, style tags and color. eBay, same thing. It automatically puts all your, calculates everything based off of your previous settings. When you were going down, it just automatically populates everything. You can see why this is so much quicker, right? Obviously my explanation is slowing us down, but I'll give you an example in real time of how quick it could be. We sell on Depop, and Etsy is not an option for us because it is not vintage. So we'll go ahead and there's a button over here. We go ahead and close that. And basically what that does is it says, I do not want to list to Etsy. If I change my mind and want to put it back, just hit the plus button. Again, X for not. There's rules for each platform. I cannot sell baby items on, and by baby items, I mean like lubbies, rattles, anything that's a choking hazard. Depop or anything that's electronic, Depop will not allow on their platform. So if that was one of those types of items, I would also close that off. But that is it right now. So we're going to go ahead and hit list item. And let's see what it does here. All right, and just like that, we've cross-listed to 1, 2, 3, 4 platforms. We're going to go back to our inventory. And just like that, they're cross-listed across multiple platforms, as simply as that. So that's the inventory control system and how to cross-list. Let's talk about settings maybe a little bit. As I mentioned earlier, and I went to settings here, so inventory settings, and I put basically the ability to auto delist. You have to turn it on. It doesn't come natively turned on. You have to make the effort to do that once you have everything listed in there. You have shipping presets that you can set up. In my case, I did 4, 8, 10, 1 pound and a 2 pound. So our plush, I kind of guesstimate a lot of it just from experience. Again, you can customize this more or less as you need fit. And I won't bore you with the details, but basically it's a form you fill out in here as you add one. You can just basically go in here, auto set discounts, you can auto set the weight, shipping, etc., and then have your custom shipping preset. That way it's you're faster. You're not having to put it in manually. You just click the preset and it automatically puts all the information in your listing for you. Inventory labels, this is where you would put custom SKUs possibly in there, not having to rely on eBay, having an alternative, or you can do both. Put it in eBay, put it in here. That way, if eBay ever loses that information, you also have a backup in your inventory control system and vice versa. So this is the AI generation section for us, where we have it on engaging. Basically, it's why it says you're elevating the level of interest for that. You can have it as set as simple, where it's straightforward. Don't give me the fluff, just give me the basics. So that's a choice. we sell emotions, I like to say, because we sell toys. And so you're basically selling that emotion. And the best way to do that is through an engaging listing. So that's basically it in a nutshell. And you can have item specifics where it adds like some of the stuff that we had on the bottom, basically the color, the style, the fit, etc. You could turn that on. Also keywords we have turned on. How much does it help? Keywords in the description. It's hard to say because we can't get under the hood of eBay or things like that behind the scenes what the algorithm looks at, but it can hurt, right? So we'll add it in there. You can also do footers, messages, personalized message, like if you should stop shopping my store, etc. So this is another section where you want to kind of stay away from. If you're no longer selling on a marketplace, you don't want to individually delist items. You can actually reset your inventory where you can take that particular platform out of the mix. So we're not going to show that because we don't want to have someone do something to their store and not be able to get back from that. So there is also bulk generate function up here with add item. It's just important to note that you could potentially do multiple items at once here. And see if we can get this bigger. Okay. So once you put an item, you could add another. So basically, you could do it all at once. You can continue to do it and then post them all at one time. I don't choose to do it that way. I prefer individually listing items. That's just my workflow, but it is an option worth mentioning. I mentioned earlier a draft bank for the times where you cannot list. My draft bank is low. I need to work on that. Be better about that. For the times that I can't list, you have 15 in here. You could do 5 a day. So if you can really get after it on a Wednesday, and all the other days of the week you can't, you would want to have enough listings to cover those days you can't, right? That's the point of a draft bank. And it's powerful because it keeps you in the algorithm, keeps your store healthy and fed, right? If you keep it fed, it'll feed you. That's kind of the rule of thumb. Sales detection will show you when you do sell something. It'll basically delist it, tell you where it's sold, if there's a problem with it, if it didn't delist correctly. So it's important to look at this daily just to make sure there's no errors if you missed the email, because they will also send you an email. But if you want to look at that, it's available and readily available. We already talked about settings. So analytics, we'll look at some of the numbers here, again, transparency, right? We have a bunch of orders here that recently went out. Look at some of our what sold videos if you would like to see some of the numbers we were pulling out for December, this time of year. It's very busy for us. I don't use expenses through this tool. I track it in a different way. Maybe I'll do a video because we're getting close to thinking about tax time and things like that. But we're not going to have that conversation now because it's Christmas time and we want to enjoy ourselves. But we'll get to another video about expenses and things of that nature. Not a CPA, but I do know a few things about that because we've been doing this for a while. So here's the numbers. This is actually a mix of different months. So let me go ahead and look at December for, let's see, 12 days. 12 days. Let's take a look. We'll open up the books here for you to take a look. What you're seeing here is basically we sold 287 items. That's an increase last month during the same amount of time. So the first 12 days of November, we sold 197 items. This month we sold 287. So that's an increase, which is expected for December. Our average order profit was $21.48, which was a little bit lower, so not as high as last month. And I think that has a lot to do with Etsy. It was better in November than it is in December, which is still fire in December. So don't get me wrong, it was just really super fire in November. Also, It'll also tell you your average sale price. I know that there are folks out there that won't touch it with a 10-foot pole if it doesn't sell for $25 or more. To each their own. Our model is buy subterranean, sell low, because we sell plush, right? So I know that I have pennies on the dollar into this stuff. And if I'm making a 3,000% ROI on my investment, who am I to be greedier than that, right? How blessed am I to be able to do that? So plush and toys is just one of those categories that's saturated, but when it does sell, there's extreme profit in it. So our revenue and fees, it'll tell you what those are. And as you can see, eBay is still winning the day, but I tell you what, Etsy is a dark horse and it's catching up. So you can customize this, and we'll look at our third quarter sales in real time so you guys can get a look. Or sorry, fourth quarter. So fourth quarter began in October to now. There it is. There's the number. Okay. That's a very brief snapshot. This is now, again, this is not including whatnot. So just remember that. Or our booth, or the other means in which we sell Facebook Marketplace and other ventures. So this is a very small snapshot into what that looks like. So this is when I say we're doing a $250,000 business, you'll have to take that on faith, I guess, because you're not probably seeing that from this type of number. But overall, all those other things that we just mentioned are what leads to that type of number. But this also gives you an idea of what, and we didn't start using Nifty until about May this year. We did a cutover from Vendu to Nifty around May time. We just had enough. We did an inventory during that time. It was painful. It was really, really painful. But we got through it. We crossed over from Vendu to Nifty, and I could do an entire video just on that workflow and what that looked like. But we want to try to keep this video as short as we can. There's so much information to really unpack here on this tool and how it can help you. We'll likely do a series of these and kind of go through more. And you can see in real time that Poshmark, Nifty is sharing our closet with the community and creating lists and doing all the things behind the scenes that's helped it increase our presence in that marketplace. And like I said, like 300 or 400% growth is incredible. Some of my what sold videos, you can see that a lot of the sales that we're getting, Nifty helped support, so it pays for itself so many times over. Just the month of November paid pretty much for the year, if not more. Nifty, so I can't say enough about getting the growth in. You got to unclench your fist in order to receive, and sometimes when you pay it forward like that, you get so much more back in return. And you use that analogy for a lot of things in life. But anyways, so you can see here that Mercari and Depop are also doing the same thing. Etsy does not have an automatic, and I actually prefer that because I think of Etsy as a different class of platform. If we're going to make an analogy, Walmart versus Target, you just have a different clientele that goes into both stores. Are any of them more important than others? No, but most people that shop at Target probably have a bigger budget than the folks that are shopping at Walmart, and we'll leave it there. So just know that. Support, can't say enough about support. They have a great Autobot setup here, where you can really get into the mix of how it works, why it's not working, ask it questions. And it'll also, once you can actually request human support as well, and they are very quick to answer. There's times where I reached out to Vendu that I heard nothing, or if it was broken for days. Mercari and Vendu, they hate each other for some reason. Nifty's really good about getting stuff up and running when it's down. Obviously with Cloudflare and some of the other stuff that Poshmark hack, there's stuff that's outside the control of Nifty that they can't do anything about. So they just have to wait for the platform to get right before they can get right. So there's a little bit of behind the scenes of what that might look like. So we'll go ahead and do one more listing in real time. and see how fast I can actually do this. So let's go. Did these penguins, and let's see. All right. Some more Aurora penguins. Now I'm recording. My son just came in, so I'm just trying to remind him not to walk in front of the camera. So, okay. I'm going to let AI take over and see what it can do. While that's running, we'll go over here, multitask, bring this up, take a look and see what it's selling for. Probably going to be a lot of the same, honestly. Yeah, pom-pom penguin. I don't usually look at Amazon solds because it's just not an accurate representation of the marketplaces that we sell in. You can see stuff like this. Obviously, there's $198 for this guy. I doubt that's the case. Christmas penguin. So we're starting to see like $20, $12, etc. So we'll go ahead and go back to here. Our plush penguin pair. Let's see if we could fix this a bit. And go ahead and give some of that detail back. This holiday stuffed animal toy. Put some of this at the end here. Well, instead of calling this pair, we'll call it bundle. And we'll start with some of the plaid scarf. We'll use hat scarf, earmuffs. You gotta kind of pick and choose, you know, it's not perfect, but maybe we'll just leave that bundle. And then in here, just make sure the listing is about 8, looks like about 8 or 9 inches, maybe 9 inches. So we'll put 9. Again, this is approximate. We're not concerned about age and where it's made. Penguin, Christmas, and Aurora. Everything looks good, excellent condition. We're going to go ahead and do another $29.99 on this guy. Put a little bit more in cost of goods. Let's see here, shipping. We're going to also put £1. Actually, you know what? We're going to put 10 ounces because I don't think that, from my recollection, I might have been wrong on the other one, but you get the point. So we're going to shut off Etsy because they're not vintage. And we're going to scroll down here. Everything looks good. I'm so used to doing it, but if you're nervous at first, you'll get to know that Nifty can be trusted to fill out all this information properly. And then we're going to go ahead and list that. So as you can see, it doesn't take very long to get it done. You can get a lot done in a short period of time, which is the power of a tool like this. And I think we're going to stop there. That's a lot of information in this video. And I'd love to hear your comments. And if you're not liking, subscribing, or commenting on the videos, I really would like some feedback on them. Feel free to ask questions. And we'll continue to do these videos and get you guys up to speed on Nifty. If you would like to try Nifty, this is not a sales video, but you can use code Rocket City. I'll go to make sure that that link's in the description of the video. That way you can get a 15%. I think it's $15 off your first month in trial. And I do get an affiliate bonus for that. It's not much, but just want to throw that out there as a caveat if you decide to sign up for Nifty. Again, not required, but just wanted to make sure that I am transparent because that's important to me and also important to you as a reseller. So we'll go ahead and pause there. And if you have questions, feel free to reach out at any time. I'd be happy to help. We're going to be doing a lot more of these, I think, for 2026, just to kind of walk through people how to use a cross-listing tool. You can apply some of the thought processes behind why we list things, how much we list them for, and why we're picking them up. So it could be a lot of a haul video, a what sold video, and Nifty cross-listing and accountability video all in one, potentially. So be on the lookout for those. We're going to go ahead and stop it here. appreciate you guys. Remember, if you can't be good at it, and we'll catch you on the next one.